If Mean Girls was a person and then that person suffered blunt trauma to the head, you would have Bratz. We saw Bratz, so you know what that means.
Take support to their friends, they watch their movies, talk about them, to answer the question, how did this get made? How did this get made?
Hello, people of Earth, and welcome to How Did This Get Made? That was a new theme song from Mick Jagger, and I'm glad I let the little tambourine play out at the end. Welcome. We are talking about Bratz today, the 2007 film based on the popular children's toy. I am joined, as always, by my co-host, Jason Mantzoukas. Jason, how are you?
I can't believe Mick Jagger did a theme song for us. That's pretty huge.
That's Mick's, no, it's Nick Jagger. This is a Mick
Jagger from the Rolling Stones.
No, it's Nick. It's, yeah. Also joining us, as always, is our co-host, June Diane Raphael. How are you, June?
I'm good. How are you, Paul?
Very good. I'm excited to talk Bratz with both of you.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
But we are joined by a very special guest. She is somebody that I think is fantastically funny. She has a brand new series on Vimeo. Just go to Vimeo.com, check it out. It's called 555. Please welcome Kate Berlant.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, boy, Kate. How did you feel about Bratz?
Bratz!
Okay.
Gotta get them
I
Bratz!
have to be honest, I loved it. I'm pro.
You're pro.
You're pro
Bratz.
Bratz.
I paused it, certain frames. I was like, well, it's shot on film. It's beautiful. The colors are vibrant. I'm not kidding. I have a
it
lot
pops.
to talk about.
I will say,
She pops.
I will say that I enjoyed this movie. I find myself sometimes watching these movies and checking like how much longer. And there was something about this that had a nice forward momentum to it.
I paused it at one point to be like, all right, I've got to be near the end. And I still had a full hour left. I was like, how have I only watched 30 minutes of this?
Oh, this movie is 2 hours long, by the way.
Holy cow.
It's an hour and 50
Really?
minutes. Yeah, an hour and 50 minutes.
I thought it was 132. I was like, how economical.
No.
I
This is like pushing. This is longer than The Dark Tower and Dunkirk. This movie is longer.
By the way, and it's in 70 millimeter. I watched it in 70 mil. I rented a theater and I got them to play it in 70 mil.
Well, here's my question, just to throw out as a general, before we even get into specifics. Is this movie a parody? Is it satire? Or is it supposed to be straight down the middle? I can't...
Oh, no. This movie is not at all a parody or satire. This is like... I feel like this is Mean Girls or cheerleader movie. What is it?
Bring It On.
Bring It On, but for like younger girls. I feel like this is aimed at like tween girls, not teen girls.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's
Right?
interesting. There's one scene. I mean, it's like where to start with
know.
Bratz, but there's one scene, like a makeover scene, where they all go shopping.
Which makeover scene?
Okay, they go to the mall. The one where they're prepping
At the Grove?
at the Grove. They're prepping for the Sweet 16.
Yes.
By the way, one of the characters, Meredith, has a second Sweet 16. But that was one of the jokes that made me laugh in the movie.
The
That
presence
this was
of
her
MTV.
second.
Oh, the MTV
Yes,
producer.
it was her MTV produced Sweet 16. But there's one moment where they are getting made over, and then there's a bunch of younger girls
Yes.
sort of sitting at a, I don't know, island of some sort, and they're making them over. And that's when I realized, like, oh,
This is
that's
for them.
the audience.
Yes, this movie is
Those
for
little
those
girls.
little girls. This movie is for little girls that play with those dolls.
Now,
Not
is there
anybody
any
else.
more information? Is there a TV show that we should have seen?
The Doll. The Doll is what this movie is based on. The dolls were very
Keep
popular.
your eye on the doll.
Yes.
Okay, but are there
Wait.
books surrounding the doll? You can't
there-
just keep on saying
Well,
the doll.
The dolls, there were 4 10-inch dolls released in 2001. Yasmin,
Wait,
Chloe,
10
Jade,
inches.
and Sasha.
Yasmin.
Yasmin. And then a 5th brat was added in 2015, and her name was Raya.
And what is her nationality?
Raya, wait a minute. Did she invent the dating app?
She is, she probably did. That's
Raya the Brat invented the celebrity dating app.
But the Bratz did spin off to Bratz Kids, Bratz Babies, Little Bratz, Bratz
Little
Boys,
Bratz?
Itsy Bitsy Bratz, and Bratz Pets, not Pete's, Bratz Pets.
Wow.
And the Bratz Babies with a Z are very disturbing because they are as sexy as the Bratz.
But, okay.
Bratz were a doll that I remember being like criticized because they were too skinny and had too big heads, right? That was the thing.
They
with
look
Bratz.
like the Steve Madden ads. Their eyes are very big and
But here's what I do appreciate about the Bratz, though. I mean, 10 inches, so that's like taller than a Barbie doll.
Yeah.
Is it?
Right?
I
Yeah,
would say
that's
it's the
taller
same.
than-
They're louder than Barbie.
They're louder than Barbie?
Yes,
well,
yes.
That's what I think they sort of are a response to, which in some ways Now, look, this movie was nothing like I thought the dolls were, having seen them only a few times. I thought the Bratz were Bratz.
I would have assumed as much.
I thought
I
that
too
the
would have
Bratz
thought
were
that.
Bratz. Like
They
these
were
kind
not
of
Bratz.
badass, like,
If anything,
Rough-
Meredith and her group would be
were
the Bratz.
Bratz.
They're reappropriating Bratz.
Bratz.
right. They embraced the brat. Like that's
did
the
the-
whole.
But
They
I do
didn't
think
really.
the good thing about the Bratz is, so there they are.
I'm showing some pictures
Okay.
of the Bratz, just so you can see. There's
Yeah.
a,
I
there's
do
a,
think it's cool that they feel like a
Fashion
response to
forward.
Barbie in that they are multicultural.
Well, sure, and they are also young. Like I think Barbie is meant to be
They have
an
full
adult
makeup
woman,
on,
right?
Jason.
Yeah.
They're not.
They're high school
How old
kids.
do you think Barbie is?
She's a professional woman. She works. She drives a car. She has an apartment.
How old is
She's a
Barbie?
woman. I would say Barbie is in her mid-20s.
Okay, that's interesting. That's
I was
interesting.
going to say 27.
27?
What do you think?
I think
Barbie?
Barbie's 21 if she's a day.
Okay. That's
Oh no! I agree. I feel like she's in the 20.
I think
25.
Malibu Stacy is 21.
No,
but
I
Barbie's
think
like
Malibu
24.
Stacey's 18.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I got to make some calls.
27 probably isn't right.
27. Yeah,
Maybe
I think
20.
Yeah,
you're
20.
thinking.
She's too close to 30 at 27. 24.
Regardless,
24.
Regardless, I think Barbie is an adult, let's say in her 20s, and I think the Bratz are high school kids, right?
Oh, wow.
Yes,
They're
Bratz-
I guess
freshmen.
so.
They're
I guess
freshmen
so.
in high school.
Well, and who become
I have
juniors.
I have a fundamental question about this movie.
Yes,
What is the length of time this movie takes place during?
a whole year. it
No,
feels
more
like.
than 2.
3 years?
Like
I
8 minutes in, they're like 2 years later.
Yes.
And you're like, what?
Yes.
Yeah, jumps.
They kept saying it's been 2 years, and I was like, since when?
Comic. And since what?
Since what happened? They
Yeah.
walked into the cafeteria
And like a couple of people waved at each of them, and they
That
all were
was
like
it.
later skater, and they basically stopped talking to each other for 2
2
full
years.
years.
I
And they
think it's
didn't-
powerful.
And they didn't really have. They didn't seem to have a breakup though. They just seemed to
They were-
get
Fade away.
involved with.
They ghosted each other.
Yeah,
they were brutalized into categories, which women are and teen girls are more than
Yeah.
anyone. And
one
so,
category being mimes.
Well,
Yeah.
Yes.
that was the thing. Sometimes this is why I thought the movie had elements of satire in it, because they would be like, "Oh, those are the loners," and then the mime was hanging out with some of the loners, but then there's also a table full of mimes. So there was, and there, like I felt like there was some elements, like when that kid jumped in the pool with the leather jacket on, he swam up to the
wow.
little
I'm
brother.
not ready to talk
I
about
could
this.
write a dissertation on the little brothers in teen movies. This kid is cut from the same cloth as the Teen Witch little brother.
Yes.
Like 100%.
I
Well-
disagree.
Wow.
I think the Teen Witch brother has so much charm and is so delightful.
Yes.
This little brother
Yeah.
made me feel sick. And this little brother is a fucking pedophile.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
He's
He's hitting on
a
Meredith's little sister.
9-year-old.
little sister.
Yes. But how old is he? That's what I wrote. Because he's flirting with, he keeps saying me likey.
It's
which
disgusting.
which I did not care for.
You didn't like
I
it.
didn't like him saying me likey to the child who is in the movie.
Child.
But then I was like, I don't know, maybe they're in the same grade? I don't know what this is.
No,
I thought she
Jason,
was younger.
no.
He was
She's
younger.
much younger.
Okay.
She has a lot of sass though.
she
She's
was a star.
Yeah,
She is great.
She was terrific.
She's one of my favorite parts of the entire movie because she just, she knew how to throw it back at her sister. I mean, her sister isn't.
These are the jokes here, folks, is what she says at one point.
Well, here's something I'll just put in your bonnet. So the people.
now, just for the listener, June is wearing a bonnet.
Yeah, we make everybody now wear bonnets. This movie was written by a writer of The Man Show and The Ollie G Show.
What? Wow.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, the story was by Adam De La Pena and David Ellenberg, and The Ollie G Show and The Man Show. That's some of their credits.
Wow.
Listen, the basic story behind this movie is, I will say, there's something about it that's kind of original, which is it's not just Mean Girls.
Right.
It's not. It's the idea. The basic premise is that in high school you're divided into these groups, and so nobody can ever fully be themselves, because what it is to be themselves is to be more than one thing, which the high school hierarchy and structure does not allow.
Well, because they're running this high school like a prison, which is set up by Jon Voight.
And that was hilarious.
Yeah.
Right.
The fact that was Jon Voight kept blowing my mind.
When he was voguing at the end.
Yes.
He's having fun.
Jon Voight, like, by the way,
In a big fake nose.
yes, and ears.
And ears?
Yes, nose and ears fake. It was interesting because watching this movie in the beginning, when you see the names pop up, I'm like, this is a movie that came out in 2007. I'm like, I should recognize.
2007?
Yeah, I should like recognize a name or something. And the first and only name really I recognized was Jon Voight, and then later Kadeem Harrison, who was on Different World. But that's even a deep pull. But I mean, I didn't recognize and still don't recognize. Yeah, they didn't. I don't know. I didn't. This is like a movie that was trying to launch a lot of new talent.
It was also like it did. Like I have no, and again, I do think this is. I kept coming back to like, I think this is a movie made and marketed to children. So like, I don't, because I was like, I similarly was like, I don't have any reference point for this. I don't have any cultural awareness of this. I know the dolls more than I know that this movie exists. You know, but in a way, I was like, but I think it was probably marketed towards like 10 and 11-year-olds. So like, I don't think it was meant to be Mean Girls or have that kind of crossover, big, huge.
No.
I think it was like for kids and would play on like Nickelodeon or something, or I don't know, something like that.
Go.
Or HBO Go.
Where I found it.
Same.
Right. Yeah.
I didn't realize it. I bought it.
You did.
That says
How much?
everything.
It was $7.99.
Wow.
Yeah.
And now you own it?
I own
Lucky
Bratz.
you.
I own Bratz. It really does look pretty amazing. There's elephants in this movie.
The clown stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
I paused the frame and I was like, yes.
Yeah,
This
the
is-
clown
this
stuff
is
was
sublime.
Cool. The clothing though, I'm surprised to hear it was released in 2007. I found the clothes to be so gross,
Shocking.
shockingly terrible.
Belts. The use of belts.
Belts
I could
where
write
I've
a
never seen them
dissertation on.
before.
Yeah.
It was just hemlines and pants over skirts over
Almost
socks
Renaissance.
or,
I feel
it
like
was
the costume
so
designer was like
bad.
modern Renaissance flair with
It's
like
this-
kind of where are they?
We're creating our own look. It's it's like it's futuristic fashion. That kind of like it's fashion that doesn't exist, so they could probably get it for cheaper because if they had to buy like name brand stuff, they couldn't afford it. Like I feel like this movie
I
was
think
done.
shipwrecked,
I
too.
think it's basically. I think if this had been made for teenagers, everybody would have dressed normally. But because they were marketing this movie towards kids, they can't dress them up in like too revealing of things. Or I feel like they were over correcting in terms of, no, we're selling a message to very young people, and it can't be that everybody's dressed in like little things, which is I feel like what a high school movie at that time would have been.
Right.
Am I wrong? I don't know.
So you think they made them more modest? Well,
Yes.
even seeing
everybody's always wearing long sleeves.
yeah, that's true.
It's super weird. Everyone is always wearing sleeves and long pants, and it's like nobody like the raciest it gets is cheerleading uniforms, frankly.
All right, calm down.
Which I was very into.
I want to talk about the cheerleader's dad, Kadeem
those
Harrison.
sexy
Oh
lines.
no! That the cheerleader's dad,
And
Kadeem
those horny
Harrison.
clowns.
Oh no! Clowns. How did you do?
I did all right.
right.
They're lady
Jason
clowns.
has a fear of clowns.
Less a fear of clowns and just like it brings back a real
Yeah.
trauma in my life when there were clowns driving around my hometown trying to lure kids into a van with candy.
I mean, that didn't happen.
Nobody believed me, and then there were multiple news reports that said it was true.
Yeah. Well, there's news reports that they're happening now. Maybe you spurned it.
Are you saying this podcast
Yes.
has started the new resurgence of clown
Yes,
abductions?
I feel like clown.
By the way,
yeah.
that's a vote of confidence in this podcast. That speaks to our reach.
This is what I love about movies like this because you can go I do agree that the moral of this movie is strong, right? Like it's like you can be many things. You can be a fashion designer and this amazing science mind who can mix two chemicals and make a fireworks display in the lab.
That was like Harry
that.
Potter.
Yeah, that was.
And it went for too long, just by like 4
Yes.
seconds. It's like, and cut. And then, yeah.
Well, yeah, like that was, and that's where, but the dad in the movie, when you're first introduced to the cheerleader's dad, he's in the kitchen, tight on a toaster, and he's trying to get the bread in the toaster, and he's like, I can't, and she comes over and she's like, boom, and she hits it, and he's like, oh, what would I do without you? That is a problem that no one has. Like, that's not I can understand a dad going, I don't know emojis or
it's
text.
supposed to, like, now that he's divorced, he can't do anything.
It just seemed like,
Later, he's playing chess alone.
yeah, that was sad.
I felt bad for him. He, like, when she goes to college, he's going to die.
I didn't know what they were setting up there, though, like with that moment in the toaster and the chess moment, because I do think there is that storyline we've seen before where, like, divorced dad or widowed dad tries to make the teenage girl, like, the surrogate wife.
Right.
And it's
Dan Aykroyd.
it's
My
disturbing.
Stepmom is
Yes,
an Alien.
Exactly. But was that what was? I mean, they also set up this story that the parents are so hostile to each other, and yet the mom walked in and she seemed
And they shared a
perfectly
smile.
pleasant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then, like,
Perfectly pleasant.
She said something like this. She said, and remind your father that you have a dentist appointment on Thursday. And then he was like, ugh, like, again? You're giving me this again? But it was an inappropriate response to that thing. It would have been like, and tell your father to pay the mortgage or whatever. It's like, but she's like, and remind your dad about the dentist appointment. He's like, ugh, woman. And like,
I think they were trying. Maybe it got cut. They were trying to set up these stories where the parents were learning alongside the children.
A lot was cut. We could
Everybody-
I think a lot
You can
was
feel
cut.
the floor.
Wait,
you can
but-
feel the cutting on the
and
floor.
that may have
That
been
was
the
one of the
crossover
stories.
elements that would have elevated Bratz to.
I'm curious, as a Bratz owner, Paul, is there deleted scenes as part of your purchase?
There
Like,
is
question.
a DVD commentary, which I got a couple notes on here.
a legitimate gasp from Kate.
That's how I knew that Jon Voight is wearing a prosthetic nose and ears.
Wait, you didn't know that from just looking at his nose?
Well, I knew the nose was definitely weird, but I didn't know the ears.
Okay.
Why
And
was
then
he wearing a prosthetic nose?
I don't know. My
He
best
was
guess.
fine to me.
My
like,
best
I
guess is so that people might not recognize him.
Oh my god.
That's what I
the
thought.
contract.
the director.
So strange.
The director also pointed out that scene in the Grove he shot in 15 minutes.
I was wondering. I'm
Yeah.
always looking for background.
Yeah.
Like, who's gonna turn and look right in the camera?
I actually liked seeing them around LA. I like seeing like, hey, I know that
It's
place.
a film about Los Angeles,
Oh,
and we can't separate it.
This
from
is
of the
the
biggest
Annie Hall. I
characters.
mean, this is
a
like
love
LA's
letter.
Annie Hall.
It's a love letter to Los Angeles, the city of dreams.
And I will continue this Annie Hall thing and say that's where some of the comedy. It's like there's some big moments. There are these kind of larger than life moments.
Big life questions.
The other thing that I was obsessed with watching this movie was that there is never more than 10 lines of dialogue spoken in a row before a song starts playing.
True.
Oh, yeah.
And oftentimes that song is then abruptly ushered out and a new song starts. Sometimes a song only plays for like a verse and then it turns into another song. Like, this is so heavily soundtracked, this movie, that I felt as though I was losing my mind.
Well, I will also argue that this movie builds to a singing performance
Yes.
from the Bratz, but they are not established. Like, in a weird way, I would have liked the movie to start as they're in a band or they like
Yep.
to sing together.
Right.
And then they go their separate ways and then they come back and they show everyone what they got.
I love
Would have
this.
been a huge script note.
Yeah.
Needed that.
Just show me where they get
Yeah.
this.
But we don't
instead-
understand. The only one, Yasmin wants to be a singer, but
Yeah.
she does. We never see her sing. She's too shy to sing, and so she doesn't sing until an hour into the movie.
Yes.
And the only person that sees her sing is a deaf. We have to talk about the deaf
That's
boy.
a different hour.
We have to talk about the deaf boy.
Well, this is
This is the kind of movie where even like everybody like triumphs. You know,
Let's-
even the deaf boy can hear basically.
He's hot.
This is basically.
He's so hot.
This is when she meets him. Here, take a listen.
Tell me where you're going. Are you blind? Hello?
Close up on her mouth.
Deaf.
What?
I'm deaf.
You don't sound deaf.
Well, you don't look ignorant, but I guess you can't judge a book, right?
Kaboom.
Imagine.
And that is the introduction of our only love interest in the film.
No, that's
Oh,
not true.
I don't
There's
think
that
so.
other guy.
Oh, right.
There's
yes.
Jade. Is he in the science club or is he?
No,
part of-
There's
he's-
two other love interests.
Oh.
There's that guy who's amazing, Derek, who ends up doing stand-up comedy.
Yes,
Oh,
yes,
Derek!
yes.
He's a brilliant
And
actor.
also the boy Meredith's boyfriend goes
Yes.
with Chloe.
Well, yes, because Meredith's boyfriend, when they're in the Grove, like they see him across the way, and I would say this is a note that I would give in a movie that is actually well directed. He
Thank you.
glances. he glances at her in a way almost as if he would go like, "Oh," like it's so quick, and he's checking you out. He was not. He didn't seem to me checking her out. He seemed to like
Wait,
glance.
you mean the deaf boy?
Yeah.
Was that the deaf boy?
That was
Yes.
the
I
deaf
was
boy
confused by all
glancing
these
at Yasmin.
faces. I will
By the way,
say,
the deaf
I
boy-
had a.
Did you have white guy face blindness?
I did. I had white guy face blindness. I had white girl face
You have
blindness.
Bratz blindness. Did anyone else think that when Chloe first walked into the house that the mom was dead?
It was
Yes.
What?
I did.
Yes,
I did.
I thought, oh wow.
Mom, because she's like, Mom, and the mom is on the lying dead on the couch. I assumed she was dead.
I thought it was
like,
alcohol
well, here we go,
abuse.
Bratz. Yeah.
Because then the way she came out of her mania, she's like,
I wonder if it's supposed to be that.
crazy.
I wonder if it's
That's
supposed
what
to
I-
be
but they
that, but they
pulled
can't
back on
do
it.
it.
Yeah.
Because I do think,
Tired.
again, I don't think they can indulge in any of the harsher storylines of any of this, because it's for 10-year-olds.
Now,
By the
my
way-
question is, so Chloe ends up, they win the talent show.
Spoiler alert.
But so Chloe ends up, they decide as a group that Chloe's going to be the recipient of the money from the
Well,
scholarship.
first of all, they decide that there's a tie. When there's a tie, one person gets the trophy and the other person gets the full scholarship to college.
Of your choice to any college
College
of
and
your
college.
choice.
It doesn't matter if you get in or
Like,
not.
That's
Keep
cool.
going.
That
That
seems
school really, really messed up.
That seems crazy.
Okay, but Chloe could, I would say, arguably has the best chance of a scholarship on
Yes.
her own because
She's a very good soccer player.
whiz.
Yeah, that's what I wrote down too. That's a soccer scholarship in the making. Yeah.
I don't think you'd call her a soccer whiz.
Well,
She's
June
a
was
genius
You're a real,
at
you're a real
soccer, right?
jock.
June was a soccer whiz, weren't you?
I was. So I
Oh,
can
so that's what
recognize
you
game
called it?
recognizes game.
Yeah, June traveled around Long Island.
I believe
Yeah,
it.
That's right.
When we
That's
got
right.
married, her dad referenced the great victories of June's life, and
One of them was soccer.
No, the whole speech was about soccer.
yeah,
Amazing.
Wow.
The entire speech was just like a list of all of my stats.
Yeah.
Really?
Soccer
literally
player, yeah.
embracing
That's
the stats.
awesome.
And this is after you've done a lot of successful work as an
Yeah,
actress.
Yeah.
not mentioned.
When again, because I don't know any of their names, when they're in that kitchen, and she picks up that. She's like, oh, you guys are angels. Then she picks up a donut and puts it not over her head like a halo, kind of like up, like almost like you would put like an ice pack on your head, like, oh, I'm hung over. It's like,
Yeah.
hey, like it was odd. I don't know why.
Now,
But anyway, we
where
were
was
talking about
Chloe's
scholarships.
dad. Dead?
That's not okay. We don't
Oh.
go there.
I
We
don't-
talk about Chloe's dad.
Ever.
No, they never.
It's like, wow. I mean, look, it speaks very loudly, but it is unspoken. I don't know. It seemed really taboo. It seemed like
I think
he
her
was
mother's
probably
alcoholism
dead.
drove him away.
I
Or
think
killed.
Probably.
Maybe she killed him. Maybe the mom killed him.
I think they did a lot of work to show different family structures.
Right.
Some
Agreed.
children are raised by a grandparent, as is with Bubby. Some people, divorce is an issue. We've
Yep.
got the divorce. Was there the nuclear family?
I don't think there was.
And that's why the
Meredith?
show is Punk, the
That-
movie.
yeah, that is. It is. It's a very. This movie
Well-
is pushing boundaries.
Well, wait
That's
a minute.
a good point. I would say
Catharsis.
Meredith. I never saw Meredith's mom.
You don't you see her parents at the talent show, or do you
wait,
just?
Dad is the
Meredith.
principal.
Oh, Meredith. I'm sorry.
Meredith.
Now I'm
Her
doing.
dad is the principal.
Yes.
We never hear about her mother. It is odd. There
You
are.
see the Asian biracial family.
Yes, and they seem to be. She seems to be an only child, maybe.
I was going to say.
Yeah.
They're a nuclear family, I guess.
sure.
Now,
Yes.
you know.
And they're very protective of her and her fashion. She's.
Well, she also has successfully managed to have built a secret room in her.
a bat
Yeah.
cave in her.
Scientist.
A fashion cave. Yeah, a fashion cave.
That would be impossible. To have like a sliding door secret closet. But that's where I'm okay. This is a bit of wish
Yeah, I
fulfillment
liked
for
it.
kids who want that. Like, I get that. But also, like, architecturally, that would be impossible. to put in a secret room.
Movies. That's
I
how
wa-
we go.
I will say too, it is an odd choice for your four main characters to be so dynamically great at everything.
Oh, they're geniuses instantly.
They're amazing at soccer. They're amazing at singing. They're amazing at fashion. They're amazing
Catering.
Science.
catering, cooking. There is not a single thing they can't do except for keep friends. I mean, that's their only downfall. But I thought that was odd. Like, there's not much for them. There's like not.
Everybody's like a triple threat.
Yeah.
Everybody can do everything because also many of the jocks also, like the deaf boy is also a big time jock. Now, is he deaf because of an accident? Did he
I
say?
think because he's like, I miss music.
So he's recently deaf.
It's
Well, I'm
addressing-
probably going to say something very ignorant, but this is a big disclaimer because I think if he would have been born deaf, there's no way his voice would sound like
No,
that.
yes, I think
Right.
I think this
Oh, you're
has
fine.
happened to him.
But why does he call her so ignorant?
Because she
When she
says
says you don't sound deaf.
Because he's like, how dare you assume that I can hear based on the sound of my voice? There's a range of deaf experiences.
Right. Yeah, he's saying
yes.
that, yeah, she doesn't,
Right.
yeah, she's expecting him to do something that would be very stereotypical.
And by the way, he does dip into what I can imagine would be called deaf voice by like an acting coach. And you
does?
can
I never
feel
heard
he
it.
Yeah.
slips into it
A couple
twice,
times, yeah.
barely, and then you could feel they were like, pull back.
Pull back.
We don't
Pull
want that.
back.
It was almost like
Yeah.
do one as without any affectation and let's just
Yeah.
taste it. Here's my favorite scene where
Why doesn't he sign?
where
Well, the
he
way-
does a little bit.
What does he do? Go for it.
Go for it.
this is
He's
when
a great lip reader.
when the music teacher, he does at one point when they say hummus or something, or she said
Oh,
foie
no,
gras.
pamplemousse. She says pamplemousse.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not that good. But this is when the music teacher finds him. I just like this. This is him playing the piano.
Dylan, you've been holding out on it.
Huh?
All this time, I thought you were just some cool jock.
What?
Miss music.
I feel you, but you don't have to.
What are you talking about? I can't hear.
Come here.
Like,
That's the music switch you're talking about.
yes.
Hell yeah.
This is feels it on his neck. So he's a DJ who is feeling it all on his neck, which I didn't know that was a thing. I don't know. Maybe it is a thing.
Well, it's also a thing apparently that
the earphones.
yeah.
Well, I get, yeah,
He
but
feels
I'm
the
saying, like,
vibration.
but based on vibration, are you going to be able to be an effective DJ? Is my
Right.
question.
Well, I think this Bratz is kind of tackling that question.
Yeah. I feel like if anything, that's what this movie is about.
Yeah. Sound is vibration.
Yeah.
Vibration is sound.
Yeah. You know, and it's just moving through the airwaves, connecting us all together. Are you okay, Kate?
Yeah, we're the Bratz. We're the Bratz.
I would like to pitch the four of us now to be in the next Bratz movie.
Oh, I would
as
love it.
like the Brats all grown up.
Big Bratz.
Big
Bratz
Brats.
vacation.
Big
I love
Bratz.
Big Brats.
Bratz vacation. I'm ready. So
Because Bratz Vacation is about people with different backgrounds
Yep.
doing different things.
Big
And-
Brats. Not to be confused with Big Brats, which is another
yeah.
movie we're making.
That's our Chicago-based
It's a-
movie where we all own a sausage factory.
right.
We still have all the same issues,
Yep.
but we just deal with them differently.
Yep. And then the crossover movie, Brats versus Brats.
and we'll be playing duplicates of ourselves. It's going to be really fun.
I love it.
I want to talk about the food fight.
Oh,
I want to talk about the food
By
fight.
the way, why is everybody in the cafeteria eating a
So
giant
much
bowl
pasta.
of spaghetti?
So much pasta. When the
much.
first pasta dump happens,
Huge.
it is as if a full boiling pot of pasta is poured on her.
well,
It
here's
looks
something
like a
from the.
disgustingly hot day too. Like why is everybody in the school eating giant bowls of pasta?
I'm going to just say that when the director in the commentary said, not enough spaghetti in that scene.
No.
Literally
No,
said,
you're kidding.
Not enough. Did not have enough spaghetti in that scene.
Oh my God.
But by the way, she wore that spaghetti better than like I was like,
Well,
wow.
she's the fashion one. She knows how to make spaghetti work.
When that spaghetti, like it landed on her and it didn't like just fall off. It like stayed on her head like a mop, almost like.
There was also a stifled laugh. I don't know if anyone else
Oh
caught
no!
it.
No.
Wow. What's her name? The lead.
Yasmin?
yeah.
Yasmin gets a fistful of spaghetti, and
Yeah.
you can see her start to laugh. And I was
Wow.
like, cut.
Yeah.
She's having a great time.
Let's redo
Take it
this.
again.
Let's reset
this
the
is
pasta.
interesting.
Everybody,
Much.
reset the pasta.
This
It's
is
too
interesting
much.
about those actresses. You know, because I think what they ended up doing was casting dancers.
Wow.
Do you know there's that whole like, oh,
You're
she's
wrong.
a dancer who can act. She's an
It's
actress
that
who can
Disney,
dance.
like,
that Disney, yes.
this,
And I
that
think that
disease.
they were all ultimately dancers and that kind of like Disney Mouseketeer world that they gave a movie to.
Well,
And
IMDb
that's-
doesn't lie. Look at the credits after.
Absolutely.
It wasn't
Well-
picking up.
Yeah, no. The only one who really took off was the bad girl, Meredith.
always do.
Yeah, she was on a TV show that lasted for 100 episodes. Here's an interesting thing about this movie. Paula Abdul was going to be the executive producer, fashion designer, and choreographer of this film, but was
She
fired.
looks like an adult brat.
She does. And
She's Bratz.
she was fired over email, and you can watch it on her TV series, Hey Paula, where she gets
I've
the
seen that.
email.
I feel like
So-
I've seen this too.
I've seen that. Wait, how come?
I have seen
Have I
this.
seen that in some
That-
countdown?
I
She's like in a
have seen
studio,
this,
right?
yes.
And she's like,
Yes.
So what would this
Wait
movie
a
would have been
Do you
if
have
it
tape
was?
on that?
Oh, you don't have tape. I wish I had the Paula
I
getting
have
the call.
seen that moment.
Guys, I have an update.
Yeah.
Oh God.
There are multiple Bratz movies,
I have to.
many of them starring these same girls.
What? This is Bratz the movie.
There's one called Bratz for Real. What is that?
Wait, but are you saying that they are
Oh,
continuing their
wait a minute. Maybe I'm looking.
No,
at
there's
the
a
wrong
lot
one.
of Bratz cartoons.
Maybe these. Okay, sorry,
so
I
there
might be
are
wrong.
Cartoons.
I need to look.
Yes,
There's
but
a lot going on. Yasmin is also in Switched at Birth. Mm-hmm. She also plays Gretchen in Switched at Birth on the ABC Family Show. I'm just checking it out.
Jade was in Bratz for Real, the video game.
Oh,
If you
that's
guys
what that
are-
is.
if You guys
Okay.
are playing Bratz for
Sasha,
Real.
the woman who plays Sasha, she is one of the characters in Dear White People. I'm just now looking at.
Oh, great.
I'm just
Okay,
now
I
looking
mean,
at what
good
they're
for
doing.
her. Look,
Guys,
I don't know that it's
Bratz
their
for
fault.
Real.
I think it's always tough to have younger actors.
Oh, I think they're
acting.
Disney kids, kind of coming out of the
remember
Disney
that.
Channel
I've
stuff.
seen it. I
I
don't
need-
know why.
I have too.
I
I'm
need-
the
Picture is so
same.
scary.
I need to get this Bratz for Real video game. It's pretty amazing.
I'm a little concerned, Paul, that you are purchasing all of the Bratz content.
Shut up, Jason. Just shut your mouth. It's fine. This is a movie and it's a movie show,
I think
and
you
I
need
love
to
it.
check his browser history, June.
Bratz. Gosh, I want
Also, all the terrible songs were clearly written for this movie, and
Yeah.
all had like thematic lyrics that were like not at all subtext, were just text. Like
Yes.
it would be like they would have a moment of making up, and then the song would be like, and all the songs were weirdly chunky guitar rock and roll songs, not songs these
they weren't-
kids would listen
But
to.
by
at
the way,
all.
they weren't fun songs. They
No,
had no
they'd be like,
energy
jugga,
to
jugga, 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 jugga.
I did
We're
not
friends
mind
now.
Meredith. I didn't mind Meredith's song at our Sweet 16 Fabulous.
No, that was fine.
That I appreciate.
That was
When-
fun. What was it? It's all about me.
Yes.
Yes.
I just simply couldn't understand the lyrics of the Bratz last number, which was like, we're attitude of gratitude.
Bratitude.
The gratitude.
Yeah.
Gratitude. Oh, June.
Gratitude.
Oh.
You want to hear? You
June.
want to hear some Bratz?
Gratitude.
Platitude. To feel some gratitude.
You know they wanted to go on
Bratitude.
Broadway with it.
No, that was Gratitude.
That
You're
was
right.
gratitude.
Here you go.
It's not a platitude.
They're rhyming with platitude.
I thought I heard Bratitude in there. Gratitude.
Gratitude is just an attitude.
I see. Okay, so it's
It's
the
Bratitude.
gratitude is not an attitude.
It's not a platitude to feel some gratitude. Which I think is.
Yeah, you have the
Like,
latitude.
I can't even.
Really proud.
You have latitude. I couldn't really make sense. Like, this is the song that's supposed to kind of harness their whole.
But it's like
thing,
it's
and
very
I couldn't
gospel-y. Like that's a
understand it.
gospel-y
Yes.
song. It's like,
Right.
like I was like, it's not a, it's like, I'm like, and
There are
that,
vocals of 40-year-old women too.
Oh,
100.
Yeah, a lot of backup singers.
100.
coming
means.
out of children.
Yes,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
end credits song that Yasmin sings is like a,
Oh.
a, a
Oh,
man.
I got
think
that.
a 40-year-old man.
I got that again. Here we go.
That's her.
That's Yasmin.
That's her.
We're supposed to believe that that
She's
is
mouthing it.
Yasmin.
Insane.
That is.
Without the visual, it's even more startling.
Yeah.
Well, by the way, they do a song at the end where then after the main song is over, they cut to this white room and a white piano. And
I didn't see this.
After the credits?
Paul, why are you watching the post-credit scenes? Paul, what is happening?
I watched this movie in one sitting from midnight to 1:50 in the morning last night.
Up late at night like a real perv watching the Bratz movie.
The craziest part
And you
about
bought
this
it.
is he also watched it with his mom last night.
Yeah, I did watch it with my mom. My mom was like, "What is this?"
Oh,
She's
my
like, "Well,
God.
you're gonna have plenty to talk about on your podcast."
She was
about
like, how did this get made?
Oh, I would love it if your mom was a guest on the podcast.
It would be a lot of questions that you would be uncomfortable answering.
Yeah,
She's like,
that's
"Do you
true.
think that they're attractive? Do you think they're attractive?" I don't think so. It looks like she was hit by a bus. My mom is very
man.
critical of these young girls.
Yes, very critical of women.
So the birthday party scene, I do want to point out when the MTV crew is there, it's a guy.
It's 4 people.
I only saw
I
one.
saw one guy with a camcorder.
I saw one guy with a camcorder with an MTV shirt. That was it. And then the producer who comes up with the most fake ending of all time.
Stu Pearlman or whatever.
Yeah.
Or who am I?
Yeah.
Is that a
who
real
am I talking
person?
Yeah,
about?
Stu Pearlman is the guy who put together like the Backstreet Boys and
Boys,
everything
yeah,
like that.
Lou Pearlman?
Lou Pearlman, sorry.
Lou
Is that
Yep.
person?
No.
No, I mean, this is what he does.
It's an homage, in my
Gotcha,
opinion.
gotcha.
He comes up with this.
Tom McShavy, Vice President, MTV Networks.
He's like the Lost Busey, this guy.
Networks. No.
16, and it's got the best numbers to date. You in the pool. Outrageous.
My idea.
Smart girl. Oh, but you 4 girls, whoa. You have got superstar written all over you.
They do?
Oh, without question. Hey, we're having a movie premiere next Saturday night. How would you girls like to be the featured act on the red carpet?
Featured actor.
2 words. Duh.
Fantastic. We'll be in touch.
BFFs. Woo! Even better.
So Bratz.
That's how red carpets.
I haven't been to a million red carpets. I've been to a handful, more than a handful. I've never seen a band on the red carpet ever.
As the featured act.
As the
Featured actor.
So that means there are other acts.
I need to pull up just to show your faces because to see your faces on the final closing song of the Bratz movie. Just to see, I just want to see what you guys. think.
the white room.
The white room.
Is this so you can watch it again? This is weird, man.
They're really talented, and I like supporting young artists who are really into whatever.
Really
You're gross, man.
I think it is. I am disturbed though that I looked up and this has like 2 stars, and I really feel like it deserves more.
Katie.
And I think it's such an upsetting symptom of
Lost
misogyny
your-
in our culture. This was not
You've lost
celebrated.
your mind. Well, this is the weird thing about Meredith. I think you've lost your mind. I think this movie is so terrible. And I also think it's terrible because it's such a ripoff of like the Meredith character. I'm so tired of seeing this girl in these movies. Like she has no redeeming qualities. And we also have like what does she want ultimately?
She just
Order.
wants
Order.
Power.
But how does she experience power?
Control. I'll go down here with you.
All right. So control over just knowing everybody's in their place because people openly do not like her.
Right.
And
She on the
nobody
first day of school, they
nobody
come to her.
seems that scared of her. I have no idea what she's getting out of this order.
She also is so involved in these things. Like she's running the talent show and stacking it purposefully with untalented people.
Again, to what end? I can see her wanting to win
Dominance.
the scholarship.
She wants to. I think she wants to. She basically is in control of the whole school. She's student body president. Everybody goes through her. She decides where everybody sits. She is,
by the way, she
rigid.
Yeah.
She's rigid and keeping control of everything. She's going to win the talent show. She's going to have the best Sweet 16. Blah blah blah. The existence of these 4 girls as 4 girls from disparate groups who are forging a bond and a clique of their own, like challenges her supremacy or her primacy as the rule maker, order giver, and allows for people to say, well, then if they don't have to listen to her, we don't have to listen to her, and that means chaos. For
Well,
her.
but I
She
didn't
wants love. She
What'd you
wants
say?
love,
But
and the
does
Bratz
she?
threaten. Absolutely,
Yeah.
she wants love,
Who
and the
is she
Bratz
getting it from?
exactly. She's not getting it, and so
she has to
the
practice
Bratz connection
self-love.
threatens her subjectivity. She's like, I have to break that up because the connection they
Love
have
is
threatens
powerful.
my
It's
identity.
real.
So the only way I'm going to maintain any power is if I divide up them.
Here's what's hard
She
for
does
me.
genuinely seem to love herself, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which honestly,
I
and
think-
I think is a powerful, which I applaud.
Well, I guess I do too, but that's what's weird about the character is that if we saw that she was in pain over this
Right.
situation she's gotten herself into, which is that she can't have any real connections and she's set up the system in the school that she thinks is going to help her, but there should be a certain amount of pain though that she experiences because of not having any real
Right.
friendship.
She also
never
doesn't
does.
Bratz does not go there. Like
Bratz doesn't
Mean
go
Girls
there.
beautifully does that. We
Yes.
see Regina sad.
Yes.
I'm not saying Bratz doesn't have limits. I'm not saying there aren't walls.
Okay.
But I'm just saying
Wow, it's really hard
I was
for you to say.
I was blown away.
Wow.
Well, and then she
She doesn't
lords
really
with
have
a
her
flash
moment.
drive. The only
No,
reason why
she
those
never has
people,
a moment.
the reason why those people are even friends with her is because she lords over them with this flash drive. And at the end, there's no comeuppance for her at all.
Not at all.
Because she still wins.
Yes.
She still
She's-
wins. I think ultimately what we're supposed to take away is that what we know she's not winning because she doesn't have her
Friends.
crew of brats. But I don't know.
Well,
who cares?
I think for what I'm surprised with in this movie is normally this person, especially in a movie like this that's aimed at kids, normally in this movie that character would have a
boyfriend or
well, she has a boyfriend, the guy that ends up with Chloe.
but she doesn't really care about him.
No, she doesn't care about anyone.
She only
She's
cares
like
about
a
him
sociopath.
in the sense that
she is.
she doesn't
she is
want
like
someone else to take him.
100% a sociopath. I think.
Yeah,
She
Who is-
loves her dog, so I would argue she's not a sociopath. She's a strong connection to Paris, the dog.
True.
Who dresses
True.
true.
just like her, and the director said that was one of the coolest things that he
But she
thought he
never
did.
has a moment.
Classic filmic.
Had he
Thing.
seen
She
Legally
never
Blonde
has.
or-
She never has a moment where like she learns her lesson or whatever. When we see her at the end of the movie, she and her dad are spying on the Bratz singing in like classic black hat, black turtleneck
Yeah.
spy thief gear.
Yeah.
Bratz
which is to assume like, oh, she's truly a villain.
And they're
that,
going
to
to
me
college.
seems like the wrong message to be sending. To me, the message to send is like, oh, even the girl who is the villain or the enemy needs to be understood and needs to like
Of course,
figure
we all
herself
have the
out.
monster inside of
But
us.
she should have realized that she could become friends, like real friends with
Yes.
these people, and it would be
But
okay.
that never happens. In fact, she's just turned into an even more cartoonish villain. I feel.
Can I
She
just ask?
should have had her confession moment.
Can I ask one question? Why did the Sweet 16 party backfire? It seemed like somebody fell into the pool, and then the next day they're like, "Oh, well, the cliques are back now."
Yeah.
It didn't seem like there was any connective tissue to why the cliques went immediately back into position after they. I don't understand.
I think that was one of the very few flaws in the screenwriting was that you're building to these two set pieces in the third act instead of just one. It's
Yes,
like,
yeah.
It's either going to be the Sweet 16 or it's going to be the talent show.
Right.
And in this movie, it was sort of both, and weirdly, like neither of them had.
And
That
weird,
makes
but
sense.
odd because also it builds to this moment where everyone confesses. I'll just play this because this is also like, well, is that the point of this movie that everyone has confessions? Like, here we go.
I eavesdropped on my sister, and then I betrayed her. Yasmin, I'm very sorry.
Most of my friends think I'm a tough jock, but I've been taking ballet since I was 5. And you know what? I like it.
I'm Bubby, and I am a chocoholic.
The one that you didn't include, which
Yeah.
is the most insane one.
Yeah.
Everybody's admitting like secret. I'm secretly passionate about ballet, but I'm embarrassed, or
Right.
I love chocolate, or whatever. There's a nerd kid who gets up and is like, I cheated on all of my exams. I cheated on my term paper. I cheated on my finals. Like everybody else is like having a moment of revelation that is met with like acceptance by the crowd. This kid is going to be expelled for his.
Immediately.
Immediately, they're going to be like, you don't get to go to college.
His future is totally jeopardized.
Yes.
Is the moral that like these people were like these girls freed everyone in school from having different interests? Is that is that what we're building to? Is
Yes.
You can be a nerd and you can be into fashion. You could
Yes.
be a this. Okay.
Well, it's her monologue. She's like, I love science, but you know what? I also love fashion.
Yes.
And I thought that was exciting.
By
Exalt
the way, that's
femme.
a cool, yes,
You
that's
can
a
still-
cool story.
Yes, you can still be femme presenting and be interested in science.
Yes.
All right.
How about the fact that no matter where they are, whether they're at the Sweet 16, at school itself, which makes sense, but then anywhere else in the world, if you are a cheerleader or a jock or a member of the marching band, you only wear your uniform. Like
Or a
at the
mime.
Sweet 16, the cheerleaders are all wearing cheerleader uniforms. Like,
the people
How else would we
the
recognize
people who
them?
love dinosaurs have dinosaur lapel pins on and are dressed as dinosaurs sometimes. That's another section of people that were discriminated against in this school. And they also, like, when they go over to her house, she's like, oh, we're just practicing. But they're all in their full...
Yeah.
They're always in their
They're in
cheerleading.
it.
everybody's always wearing uniforms if their characters have them.
Well-
except for our girls. Like Jade will be with the Sasha will be with the cheerleaders.
She's
wearing normal clothes and they're all only wearing uniforms.
It was weird when that cheerleader came up to her at the end, the captain, saying, we do want you on the team, but it's like, well, has she been auditioning for this team for 2 years?
You would think.
I mean, it seemed like her position was being...
It was
she
still
was still
tenuous.
trying out for
still
the
trying out
cheerleading.
years later. But that's the thing is like everybody basically has a moment. Every character, every brat has a moment where their chosen clique comes up to them and is like, "Listen, we love you. You're great. We
Right.
want you on the team. We want you on the whatever." But if you don't hang out with us exclusively,
Yeah.
you can't do it.
That's what I wanted
That would
to know.
not be allowed.
What Yasmin was doing in those 2 years, because she is the only
She's
one that
friendless.
didn't have a clique.
Yes, because she's too afraid to sing.
So she's just what? But at one point, she
So she'd
holds
be
up
part
a
of this.
sign when she gets her invitation from Meredith in a balloon that popped. The sign says journalism.
Yes.
The easy way out, as we all know.
Yes,
Sure,
journalism.
I guess so.
She says she has a journalism thing earlier in the movie as well.
She says those words.
She says she has like something for journalism. She does. I remember hearing it and be like, what is that?
So that's what she was. Those are the kids she was hanging out with.
Yeah, she's a real-
yearbook?
She covered
should
the
have been-
Gulf War.
She's a real.
She should have been breaking the story on Meredith. What's
Yes.
going on? What's
Yes.
making her tick? The hard drive, the dad, the inner...
and she could have used it to her advantage, digging up dirt, being an
Absolutely.
investigative journalist. She could be a real
She could
Rory
have
Gilmore.
blown the lid off of all of
I
it.
still want to talk about the magician that clearly killed that girl in the box.
Oh, yeah.
He killed that girl. And
Why was Yasmin's little brother at the Sweet 16?
He snuck in.
Yeah.
Okay.
There.
fine.
Why did Jon Voight have a bodyguard? Like yeah.
Who's also
That's
the vice president?
principal.
Or
Wait,
vice
oh,
principal?
Vice principal, yeah.
So that was confusing.
That's
Oh,
the
yeah.
vice principal.
I didn't get
Forgot
that.
to cast it. And he's like, they're like, you're both. You're both. Yeah.
Obviously, we had an opinion about this movie, but there are people out there with a different opinion. It is now time for Second Opinions.
Come gather round, listeners, on every device. And keep your ears open, I won't say it twice. Paul, June, and Jason are not very nice to bad movies, over which there's a shit ton. Their mockery of mediocrity will not suffice. It's time for a second opinion. Paul, you're quite funny on screen and on stage, but you've got a few black marks on your own wiki page. Bad films are released in wave after wave. Don't act like you've never been in one. We all saw your shoulder on screen in Meet Dave. It's time for a second opinion.
All right, these are 5-star reviews culled from Amazon. These people love Bratz, and you know what? I think they're on Kate's camp here. This is written by Cool Kid 363. This movie delivers important messages every preteen should understand before heading to high school. Friendship is important, how to stand up for yourself. Plus, most preteens would enjoy this movie as many are excited to head into high school, and the movie gives them an insight of what high school is really like. And let's face it, it's impossible for a movie to give perfect insight of what high school is really like.
Oh boy.
Fair.
I actually do
5
think
stars.
that's fair.
Yeah.
You know.
These are a little bit different than we normally get. This is a good one. This is from Melanie Stepp. The language amounts to about 5 or 6 uses of God's name, but no more. A few times the characters expose a little belly, and there are a few short skirts. Meredith wears the most revealing out of all the characters.
Who cares? How dare you?
But the clothing is mostly very layered and modest, vastly different from the doll counterparts. Fashion and shopping and beauty are emphasized a little too heavily, but it's all fun. And not trying to look too sexy. Jade does lie to her parents, but she later apologizes. Aggressive shopping is shown in a not good light. I mean, do we really want to be jerking belts from other people's hands and playing a tug of war until one person goes flying?
When the camera's there, we do.
Overall, it's an extremely enjoyable movie that I want to watch again despite myself. 5 stars.
Oh my God. I would not give it the big 5. Okay.
Yeah, I know.
How many
From that,
stars would you give it?
3.
Oh, nice.
Wow, that's I
For
feel
what
that's
it
fair
is,
for you.
June.
Yeah. Okay.
For what it is. Yeah.
For what it is.
Because I'm telling you, when I pressed play, I went, here we go. This is going to be pure trash.
And you
I was
enjoyed
like,
it more than you thought
You know
you
what? They're reaching. And in this day and age, a little ambition, seeing that for me gives you stars.
Wow. And by the way, Kate, you can come over to my house anytime and watch it. I own it now.
So much.
This is weirder. This is weird getting weirder.
By the way, I do think that if Paula Abdul did get behind this movie, there would be it would have ratcheted this movie up.
Music
Fashion
and dancing would have been better.
I also think, unlike many of the movies we do, I will judge this less harshly because it is a movie made for children. Like in a way that even though we've tackled other kid movies, Gooby and like terrible, this there was something about it which I felt like it couldn't be as sharp. It had to be dulled or whatever because of its intended audience.
In some ways, I feel the exact opposite.
Yeah,
which is that the movies made for children are so important.
It should be held to a higher standard.
It should be held to a higher standard because
well,
of it.
I'll tell you that Roy wrote on January 25th, this product was delivered on time. My daughter loves this movie. I bought it for her, and she's a grown woman. Need I say more?
Ooh,
5 stars.
Gross.
Weird.
I don't like any of that.
And then finally, we end with Cool Cat, who says, I thought it was pretty good compared to those other stupid movies that came out this year, like Knocked Up.
What?
Yeah. If you love the Bratz, I would say get this. It is not overrated. They didn't show any cleavage. Sorry. They didn't show any cleavage.
Cleavage?
Sorry.
Cleavage.
I was starting to laugh at the fact that this guy, this pervo, said I just started to laugh at it. Sorry. It isn't overrated.
Are you laughing to cover the fact that you wrote this?
Whatever. I have opinions about this movie.
Are you Roy?
It isn't overrated. They didn't show any cleavage, and it was enjoyable for all audiences. I can't think of a movie that is better than it.
Wow.
And it's definitely better than SpongeBob, and I wasted my money on that. 5 stars.
Jesus.
Wow.
I mean, yeah, more cleavage for sure in this movie, Roy, a.k.a. Paul Scheer.
I also felt like the girls got a bum rap for breaking that bust. I feel like whoever put that principal's bust on that, they didn't solder it down or anything. It was very bad.
Did you guys notice that during the food fight, there were, at a certain point, just cream pies on the ground that people started picking up and throwing at each other? There just were cream pies.
Damn, I
They
missed
bend
that.
down and pick up cream pies and start mushing them into each other's faces during the food fight. I was like, why are those just there on the ground, like in tins?
Yeah.
Movie magic.
I always felt in
Great
middle school and
captain.
high school a little scared a food fight was going to break out. Like
Really?
There's so many food fights in like teen movies and kids
Sure.
movies. I always felt like I was living under the fear that at any moment someone was going to throw, a
Our
sandwich
parents
at me.
lived
And it
under the
never
fear
happened.
that there was going to be like an atom bomb. Yeah.
atomic bomb.
And we had food fight.
Yeah.
We would do a terrible thing in my cafeteria where you would like say someone was sitting down, and it could be anybody. It wouldn't just be a nerd thing. It would be, and if you pulled the seat out from underneath them and they fell on the ground, the entire cafeteria would start chanting, "Dick, Dick, Dick, Dick," and it would be like 100 or something people just
even
all
you.
Of course, me. Yeah. I mean, and by the way, the worst moment that happened here was there was a football player who was on crutches one time, and he was pushed backwards, and his crutch broke the window, and he fell out the window into a courtyard. It was the same level courtyard. Fell out the window, and the whole cafeteria was like, "Dick, Dick, Dick," as this man has fallen through.
The cruelty of children. Yeah. That's terrifying.
And I thought, and it was so fun to everyone be chanting
part of the gang,
because you could yell "Dick," and you weren't getting. It was in a Catholic school. You couldn't get in trouble, and everyone's screaming "Dick," and the brothers couldn't control it. But now thinking about that young man, never happened to me. Thank God. Thank God.
It still might.
It may.
Here at the Earwolf cafeteria.
No. Yeah. We had to do some pretty fucked up stuff in my school. We dumped a kid in a garbage can head first.
All right, babe.
We used to, for our marching band initiation, we would pick up the freshmen. This is the nerds against nerds. And there was like a big, huge industrial sink in the band room. And you would spend, first we would fill up the sink like halfway, and then you would get dunked in the sink, basically. That was your initiation.
This is fun.
Classic.
It was very fun.
Yeah, that seems.
It was very innocuous.
More light-spirited.
Oh, it was very innocuous. Yeah. So basically, you like were wet for the next period.
That's okay.
Ooh.
Yeah. Paul.
Oh, sorry.
Paul, you know what, man? I know you got Bratz on the brain with their busty cleavage.
Yeah. There's some good cleavage there. Well, let's just go around the horn here. Jason, do you recommend the movie?
I don't really. I mean, this is, I mean, listen, if my nieces were like, we're going to watch the Bratz, I'd be like, okay. I mean, I'd rather you watch something a little better. But that's what I mean. Like on a message level, it's all about
Friends
being friends, staying friends, looking out for each other, being generous to people, being kind, having each other's back. Look, like it has all the right messaging for, I'm sure, the little girls that are the intended audience. But as a movie, it is just kind of boring, like it really is. And it is the level of intrusive song placement is maddening.
It's
frankly.
distracting.
It is aggressive.
It distracts from the Bratz.
Oh, yeah. I want, I want to focus on these brats,
Of course you
Not
do.
the way that Paul does.
Hey, I like these girls. Kate, what would you say?
I would say Bratz, it can't help but escape. It does not succeed in escaping kind of the trappings that you might expect from a film like this. Yeah. And at times they are offensive.
Sure.
And not
stereotypical
productive.
and
Right. However, I would say that it's well directed. I truly feel that way. And I think it's visually, again, shot on film. And I think
you gotta appreciate that. By the way, that's something that we got. Like a lot of these movies, we don't give it enough credit. It was shot on film.
Yeah, we've got some cool shots.
It feels big. It feels like it feels big.
They have an elephant in this movie.
It's ambitious, and I recommend it on like a family ski trip when everyone's asleep.
Oh,
I've never gone skiing with my family. But
that's the only parameters in which you would recommend watching it. Is
everyone's asleep.
Like
asleep.
You find this DVD in a ski cabin. Like what Bratz?
Exactly. Like I don't want to do a puzzle of a boat.
Yeah.
Or just like
I want to watch Bratz.
Most people are not wealthy enough to ski, so because it's an expensive sport.
Again, never went skiing as a child. I feel like it's a ski-oriented.
I
DVD.
wonder if people. I'm curious in the same way if people in our audience, the young people that is, are going to feel about this movie the way that other people felt about when we did Spice World and felt like this is preposterous, and people were like, "What are you talking about? This is my life."
Right?
No, I don't think so. I think Spice World was more our generation, or
no, that's what I mean.
Generation,
yeah.
but I don't think we have listeners who went to see Bratz.
Yeah.
But listeners, I want to hear it. Did you
go see
like,
Bratz?
In 2007,
when you were growing up,
they were 10.
Yeah.
Which means that now
they're 20.
20. Okay, maybe they are listening.
Oh.
Yep. Listen, 20-year-olds, if you're out there and you're listening to the show, let us know. Did this movie mean something to you? Were there girls who grew up being like, I'm a Jade, I'm a Yasmin, I'm a like
Chloe,
everybody else
Sasha.
was like, I'm a Samantha,
I'm a Raya.
I mean, I think what we are missing in our reading of this movie is the whole more of the source material. I think we only know the dolls.
We gotta go back to the source.
No.
We gotta go back to
Paul,
the source.
I think there's more that we
you're
don't
looking-
know.
but you as a-
about their families.
Actually, that reminds me of a great thing. Guys, as you know, we are launching a lot of other podcasts built off of this podcast. Bitch Sesh came out of our feed. Welcome to the Bratcast. We're here. We're talking nothing but brats.
We're gonna get into the cartoons, the video game.
Nothing but brats.
We're gonna talk about the brat.
Because we got that Bratitude, and here we are. It's just us. Yasmin, Sasha, Jade, and Chloe here talking brats with you.
I do think though there's more. There's another way to experience this movie, and I don't think any of us were able to really.
I enjoyed it.
Enjoy it because I think we probably would have known more about their families and what happened to Chloe's dad and all of that stuff. We
what
didn't know.
What happened to Chloe's dad? We gotta know.
I read
bet it's in the books.
as he left the family.
Abandoned them.
Yeah.
It's hard.
I don't think it was a death. I think it was he left the family and we have no money and there's an unsupported
I gotta
dad
say,
out
June,
there.
it's especially with that movie It coming out, it's so hard to adapt a piece of source material into a feature film and get everything right. Dark Towers having that issue, and I think
are you suggesting that this is a Stephen King property?
I'm just saying that
it did have clowns in it,
Look, I'm just saying
it would be amazing if it was like the four
part
brats
of the Stephen King world.
Pennywise,
Thinner there's elements of Thinner in here.
Lawnmower Man.
Yeah, there's a lot. All I'm saying is, it's so hard to bring everything that you know from an action figure, 10-inch action figure, and be able to put that in a movie. The first Harry Potter movie was so hard to get all that in there. And this is an action figure. That's bigger than
10
most books.
10 inches to 35 millimeters, baby.
That's
right. June, you recommend it or no?
No,
Right.
I couldn't ever. No, I didn't enjoy it. And I went in actually when I saw that we were watching Bratz. I was excited. So I also went in, I was excited it's not like a sci-fi movie I felt like it was in a genre that I could definitely stomach, and I was disappointed.
And I say buy this. It's $7.99.
Oh, boy.
It's a steal.
Oh,
you're gonna rent it. It's gonna be $4.
You're a real creep.
Don't worry about it. Support the Bratz.
I feel like someone
help them get back
your
to $20 million
age should
budget.
be able to buy this movie.
Bratz, Bratitude.
That makes sense why you're wearing that crop top T-shirt today.
Whatever. I think it's fun and it's nice and it's hot out. Kate, talk to us about what you're doing. We know you have this great Vimeo series, 555.
Oh, thank you.
That you can get cheaply. It's not an expensive buy.
Less than Bratz, folks. $3.99, less than Bratz. You get 5 episodes starring myself and John Early, directed by Andy DeYoung.
And
check it out.
It's really funny, and you have to go to
very,
vimeo.com to get it. That's it. That's where people,
If you get scared, just Google Vimeo, Kate Berlant, John Early. You'll find it.
Okay.
Yeah. Anything else? Anything else you want to talk about? No? Anybody?
No, I'm good.
June?
I would just suggest for those listeners who are activist-minded, there's 2 great things you can check out. 5 Calls, which is an app you can download, and ResistBot, which makes it really easy to call and contact your representatives.
I actually just use that. It's great. It sends a fax right to your representative. You write it on your text, and it goes right in.
Literally
I am a senator.
Oh,
and
wow.
I wasn't going to say that here, but I am involved.
I like it.
Write to me, and we're going to do it.
Great.
Are we sure they all have faxes? Fax seems like outmoded.
Yeah, you want to get all
not.
the
faxes
It's
is
actually just as
it's actually
meaningful
more
as a phone call.
because
they deal with so much paper. It's like,
Yes,
I want to
yes.
inconvenience these people. Trust me, when my secretary brings me a stack of faxes, I go, okay, I'll read the bill again.
And I appreciate you taking some of the time out of your schedule to watch this movie, because you were probably in that office, people knocking on that door. And
I got home and my husband said, "Are you kidding?" And I said, "Put the briefs." He's a lawyer. Put the briefs down.
I'm glad you said he was a lawyer, because I would have thought his underwear.
Put the briefs down and put the Bratz in.
I said, "Put the Bratz in. We're gonna have fun." He loved it. I loved it. We had fun.
Just a reminder to sign up for our mailing list. You can find that on our Facebook page and our Twitter page. That's the show, but it doesn't end here. Listen to our mini episode where the discussion about this movie continues. You can give us a call at 619-PAUL-ASK. That's 619-PAUL-ASK. I will answer all your questions about this movie or even about your life. Also, if you like How Did This Get Made and you want to wear it or put it as a sticker or have it as a cell phone case, head over to tpublic/stores/HDTGM. tpublic.com/stores/HDTGM, and you can check out all of our amazing merch like Put Her in a Bra or the Jason Zardoz shirt, which I particularly love. A big thanks to Kelly Alto, Avril Halley, July Diaz, Nate Kiley, and Leanna Waldron, all who come together and put this show and help me do the show every single week. But more importantly, everybody here at Earwolf, their amazing engineering team that puts together this episode, makes it sound absolutely flawless. Make sure you rate and review us on the iTunes. We like that. It's fun, and we have a good time with it. See you next week. Bye for now.